front foot on the rear bolts of the front truck. Put your toes right over those rear bolts in the middle of the board and give it a push. See how it feels. If it feels weird or awkward, it's going to feel that anyway your first time. Try the other foot. Again, right over the rear bolts of the front truck. And see how it feels. Whichever foot feels more natural, that's your dominant foot. That's the one you want to learn on, because you're going to learn much faster, better, and have less errors. But I have to point out that professionals, when they learn, they have to learn to ride with both feet. Because when they go up a ramp and come down, they're coming down on the opposite foot. And that's called coming down switch. Okay, so let's talk about foot position. Now that we know which foot is our front foot, see these 4 bolts in front of my toes? Those are the bolts that cover and hold the trucks in place. You want to put your toes right over the rear of the bolts. And also, you don't want to put your foot too far to the right or too far to the left. If your foot is to the right, I'm going to show you a video right now. As you push, you're going to be turning right, and it's going to be hard for you to maintain stability. And same as if you put it on the left side, you'll be pushing and turning left, and it's annoying when you're trying to learn. So make sure you put it right in the middle, toes over the rear of those bolts, and give it that push. And that's the best way for you to start off easy without having any troubles with balance. All right, check this out. Finally, this is going to be your first skate lesson. Enough talking, let's get to work. First thing you're going to do is, of course, you're going to put your front foot in position in the middle and just give it one push. And I'm going to show you what's going to happen. It's not going to be pretty the first time. Watch this. You're going to put, the board might be unsteady. The board might shoot off in front of you like that. Make sure you get low as soon as you push. The board may be unsteady and it may shoot off behind you like that. Don't worry, it's perfectly normal. But the lower you are, the easier it's going to be to react. And one more thing. When you feel unsteady, like you're going to fall, put the foot down first. Put your foot down before you start falling. Because if you have one foot down, all you have to do is step off with the other. Much safer. You're going to do this probably for days, maybe a week or two, until you feel comfortable where you can stand up and relax. Okay, so here's something important. Probably everything's important. But how do you steer on a skateboard? You tilt the board to the left or to the right, and it's always best. You have to be kind of sideways. This way you can tilt to your toe side or to your heel side, and I'm going to demonstrate that right now. It's a little more tricky because as soon as you push off on the board, you want to reorient your feet sideways. For that, you have more leverage in turning. If you don't turn your front foot sideways, that front foot won't have any leverage, and it'll be your only your back foot doing the turning. So let me demonstrate now how to rotate your feet as soon as you push off. It's going to make it so much easier to turn. One important thing to know is skateboarding is almost like a dance because you're constantly readjusting your foot position. So for example, let's say you're sideways for better turning. It's time to push again. Watch. I'm sideways. When I have to push, I got to put this foot forward again before I push. See what I'm saying? So you can't push while your foot is sideways, and you can't turn while your front foot is forward. So you're constantly adjusting. And it's kind of good. It keeps your mind active. Let's say there's a bump in the sidewalk. You put your back foot on the tail, lift it over it. So you're always looking at what's going on the road and readjusting your foot position. Another thing might happen, you may see a rough spot in the road. You shift your weight to the back of the board so the front wheel will go over it easier. Probably the most important thing to learn, and that is how to stop. You probably noticed throughout the video I'm dragging my right foot. It's important to know how to stop because you may be picking up speed going down a hill, and man, if you reach a point where you pick up so much speed, you can't stop yourself and it gets dangerous. So the way you stop, the most basic way, is what you see I just did. Put down your opposite foot and drag it. The first time you start doing that, it's going to feel weird because your body is going to twist. So it'll take time for you to figure out to get that balance. Let's do it one more time. Yeah, so you bend this knee, drag that foot. Drag it close to the board. If you drag it out here, it'll make your body twist more. So that's one way to stop. All right, so check this out. I'm going to show you a real world example of how to slow down if you're going down a hill and you know you're going to be picking up too much speed. You swerve, you slalom left and right, but you have to do it hard to bleed off that speed. The trick. I'm going to talk about something super important now. Remember I said we're going to talk about how not to kill yourself? Yeah. I don't have enough room to weave. So watch what I do. Right before I hit the grass. All right, see that? It's not pretty, but it can save you from a fall. And when you jump, you want to make sure jump and leave the board behind you. If you jump and the board is in front of you rolling, you could step on it and you could do like I did one time and have a bad fall. So more importantly, if you could jump and leave the board in one spot like you saw me do, that's even better. But keep in mind, I was able to run after I jumped off because I was going at a speed that I could run at. So imagine if you pick up so much speed faster than what you're able to run. Even if you jump off, you're going to trip and fall. So it's very important to jump off before you reach that terminal velocity. And most importantly, you have to practice this, but practice it at a lower speed than what I did. You're going to get better results, and that's one of the tips of not to kill yourself skating. That can trip you. All right, I'm not going fast, just riding normal. You see that? It can catch you off guard. And if you're not aware, if you're going too fast, you can fall, of course. So I'm going to show you one way to go over something like this without stopping. Check this out. What I'm going to do, right before I hit the lip of that curb, I'm going to put my right foot down and take all the weight off of my left foot. See that? Let's do it a little faster. All right, this is a full speed run. So the reason that works is that right as I'm approaching it, I took all my weight off of the board foot. That way it can just slide over. If your body weight is on it, the wheel won't clear it. So that's something important to keep in mind, how to get over cracks in the sidewalk and irregularities. It's not perfect. If I tried to do this at a taller point, maybe it wouldn't go over, but it's very important that you practice this while you're learning, and definitely start on smaller cracks first.